Cool, cool, cool.
I like my Uma Thurman angle. Vincent. You know what I mean?
I like that too. Look at
Yeah.
you.
All
Look
right.
at you.
So
You have your phone?
It's charging.
Okay, all right, Mike. Thank you. Thank you, baby. Okay, let's do this.
all right.
So basically, I'm gonna research stuff and prove you wrong when they call you out on your bullshit.
Basically.
Cool. Okay, we're starting. Time zones and chatterboxes. The hustle narrative. MG here, and I got Penelope, aka Sunshine, with us, and Logan, aka Mr. Wilkin, with us.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing?
Doing very well.
Good.
It is 4:25 right now in Hawaii, Honolulu.
It's
Cool.
6:25 here in Bay Area, California.
All right, and it's
Represent, yes.
10:25 here in the Philippines. Holla at you.
But it's Saturday, right?
Yes, it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday.
You're in the future, baby.
Yes, I am. It's looking cool. It's looking promising. But we're here to talk about The Irishman. And by the way, thank you guys for being here, and happy Thanksgiving. We got to start with that.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do shopping afterwards.
Nice.
So you have to
Yeah, wrap it up. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. So that's about it. So I got my okay. The reason why we have this angle, this like unnecessary angle on my right, not because of like vanity or like I want to have like two angles on me or whatever. It just affects the whole like framing of everyone if there's only like three, so
It looks like a Haim music video.
oh yeah. Oh, by PTA? By PTA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
It's
like a Fiona Apple music video.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
fine,
cool.
Cool. So,
maybe next time we can put like the poster of the movie that we're talking about in one.
yeah, no, I
one
can.
of the
I still
frames.
can. I still
Yeah.
can. Like I can put it on this thing, on this
Yeah, or whatever.
frame,
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
for now, just to kind of manipulate the evenness of each framing, we put this
Yeah.
fourth frame. Anyhow, so we're here to talk about The Irishman, and we're gonna talk about The Irishman. The Irishman is the latest movie by Martin Scorsese. It just came out on Netflix, November 27th, which was 2 days ago for me, and for you guys it was it's like yesterday, right? Correct? Or
Yes.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 days
Yes.
ago.
No,
Actually.
2 days ago.
Wednesday it came out.
Went.
Today is Friday, so yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 2 days ago for everyone. I mean, if it came out the same time, right?
Hmm.
It came
Yeah,
it came out at the same
definitely.
time.
Yeah.
Just different time zones, but at the same time. But what do you call this? So so it stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel, correct. And so basically, before we get to like talking about the casts, I'd like to point out that this is Martin Scorsese's project with De Niro since Casino, which came out in I think 95 or 94.
Correct.
Yeah, 95.
95.
Yeah, 95. So
Yeah.
it has been, what is that? What's the math? 24 years,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Has
Yeah,
it? Is it
24
really
years,
that
yeah.
long?
Yes.
Since Casino?
So with De Niro,
Wow.
it's been since Casino, which was 24 years, and with Joe Pesci, the same movie, Casino, 24 years, and first time that Martin Scorsese is working with Al Pacino, and yes, man.
Should we start with the acting? Should we start about the acting?
Oh no, we're just
The
gonna.
performances?
We're just
okay.
not
go
not
ahead,
the
go ahead.
performances. So we're just gonna do the cast.
So why? So it started in '95. What? Like talking about it, conceptualizing it.
No, I
no,
think,
I mean
I-
like
they wanting to work together again and
Since
and
Casino
doing
and-
this particular movie, The
Oh,
Irishman.
okay.
They haven't worked
Gotcha.
together
They haven't
since
worked together.
1985.
Since 1995, yes.
And this project is like a 10-year-old project. Like they've been trying to make this movie 10 years ago, and no one wanted to do it. No studio took the risk, and Netflix just said, here you go, here's the money, do whatever you need to do. And Netflix is really kind of the savior of this project.
So the thing is, like, both Robert De Niro haven't worked with Martin Scorsese since Casino.
Yeah, Robert De Niro. Yeah, Robert De Niro
officially in a feature film, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
In a
also,
feature
Joe
film.
Pesci hasn't worked with
Scorsese.
since
Casino
Casino
as well.
because Robert De Niro and Pesci
Worked together
was in the
good,
same.
Yeah, directed by De
Shepherd.
Niro. Directed by De Niro.
Okay.
Good
Gotcha.
Shepherd.
And Pesci apparently is like retired, quote unquote.
Yes.
De Niro made a movie called The Good Shepherd, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
He directed it, and Joe Pesci did like a little cameo appearance in that.
Yeah, I remember.
That was with Matt Damon, circa 2006.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
But it was in the 2000s.
Long time ago,
about that.
Very long ago, and
about 2006.
and maybe even earlier. But Pacino or Pesci hasn't really worked since then. He's been chilling out.
Correct.
So for him to be in The Irishman, super important, and I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Yes.
His contribution.
Yes, and as I've said, it's Martin Scorsese's first time working with Al Pacino. I heard that they've crossed paths like many times throughout their careers, but this would be the first time that they're working together.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Al Pacino has worked with De Niro three times before this.
There was Heat.
It was Godfather 2 first. Godfather 2.
They didn't work together though. They were in the same movie, but they didn't work together. Because De Niro worked in flashbacks while Pacino worked in the current. What is it, the 40s or something?
I think that's considered working together if they're in the same project. I mean,
I disagree. They were never in the same scene.
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay.
And but when they really worked together was Heat, Michael Mann movie Heat in '95.
Yeah.
And then they worked together again in a awful movie called Righteous Kill.
Yes.
I mean, Mark, you seen that movie?
Yes,
Righteous Kill?
I have.
God. Okay. I'm not going to say the expletive, but that was like one of the. I mean, literally, you're seeing it to see them work together, and that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was awful.
Okay, well,
completely trash.
We'll talk about the
we'll get into
the good graces of The Irishman instead of the bad graces of Righteous Kill.
But my point is, Pacino working with Scorsese for the first time, and I have my notes here. He has great material to work with.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's very, very exciting. Very exciting project. It's I mean, you can call it what it is, or you can call it whatever you want, but it's a mafia movie. It's a gangster movie, you know? It's not just a mafia movie. It's not just about the mafia. But let's say it's a...
But in the trailer, that's what it shows.
Yeah. But they did, of course, the story has its own, ingredients, and it's not just another, Godfather or like Goodfellas.
There's a different layers.
Exactly.
I have a note about that, but we're opening it up. Yeah.
So let's talk about the story first. So Logan, since you have a lot of notes, can we talk about the story? Like just summarize the synopsis of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. It is basically the latter half of the last century, told through decades. And I think that if you really want to put it down, it's basically about American history and what we do not know in terms of crime. There were elements in this movie about the Kennedy assassination. Apparently, it's before our time, but Hoffa was a really enigmatic person in American history. And this movie really fills in those details of how much the mafia was involved in our history. Frank Sheeran is the Irishman played by De Niro. it's about loyalty and the mafia, gangsters, and basically just how much pull they have in politics, and when you get the Jimmy Hoffa character played by Pacino in there, it just really shows how neck and neck and how powerful these forces are. And at the end of the day, it's Frank Sheeran's story of this American tale, and it's an epic tale.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm smiling right now because Moana's watching The Irishman right now
Right
wow.
now.
in the living room.
Cool,
Yeah, in the
very
living
cool.
room.
Yeah, come and say
There's
hi,
more I can
Moana.
say, but
Tell her to come and
there's
say
more I
hi.
can say, but-
Now that we're rolling, just a quick hi.
Who, me?
What?
Moana, tell her to
Oh.
come.
Hi, Moana.
Oh,
Just
can you say
come
hi?
say a quick hi.
Here.
While we're
in the
rolling.
podcast.
There's
Here.
a leak. There's a leak. Can I get one more sweet?
Just a quick hi. So you're watching it right now?
Hello. Huh?
You're watching it right now?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
watching the movie.
Nice,
right now.
nice.
But
This is
like,
this is Moana, by the way, my little sister, and yeah,
Hello.
she's,
Hi, Moana.
she's just saying a quick hello.
Thank you,
She's in
baby.
she's in the area, so yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I actually watched it yesterday while I was getting ready, and I saw the first like 15 minutes.
Cool.
And I was like immediately, because they always make fun of me because like if I don't get into the movie, I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I usually, have you guys seen Joker?
Oh,
yeah.
we talk.
Yeah.
No,
We
no,
talked a lot
I'm
about
just,
that.
no, I know. I'm
just
just
know
saying because like when I saw Joker, it's like immediately I knew I was gonna be hooked.
Yeah.
So same with this one, yeah. Same with this one too.
Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hopefully you can join in when we talk about Joker. Like we haven't talked about Joker.
Are we
Oh,
going to talk about? I would
We
love
should,
to talk
we
about
should.
that movie at some point.
I love that movie.
Yeah. You should join in. Like
No,
next time.
definitely.
Cool.
Moana,
yeah,
I was actually commissioned to work on Joker. I was going to be the Joaquin Phoenix character, but apparently they chose this guy, Joaquin Phoenix, and he did a better job than me. Apparently, I don't know if you heard of him or not, but
No, he did amazing. I actually forgot that he's Joaquin Phoenix, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool.
He's not even. Yeah, but let's talk about that in a different.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the Irishman, and hopefully you can join in the next time. You'll be the fourth
sounds
frame.
good.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, bye.
Okay,
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you too. Bye, Logan.
bye.
Okay. So actually okay. So
Wait, let me ask you this, Mark.
Sure.
What do you think it's about?
here's the thing.
Yeah, let's
Get
talk
into
about
that.
what we think.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, we know what the
About
plot is, but
before.
by the way,
Before.
are we doing spoilers? Are we spoiling?
Yes,
this?
we're spoiling. We're fucking
Okay,
spoiling.
so
So if you're gonna,
what do you think? I know what I think it's about. What do you think it's about?
I mean, okay, I know what I think it's about too. I mean, we don't have to agree on it, but that's the beautiful thing. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a really bad accent,
it.
but
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, okay. What do you suggest?
Like before watching it, what do you think it was gonna be about?
Well, I left it a blank canvas. Okay, but I knew because I've been kind of following this like update on The Irishman for a long time. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but I think Robert De Niro was on a late night show like Letterman or something. David Letterman was still around.
Probably Jimmy Fallon, maybe.
No, this was like a decade ago. This was a decade ago.
Wow.
So maybe it could have been Jimmy Fallon, but it was a decade ago. And he was on the late night show, and he announced it. He said my next project will be directed by Martin Scorsese. I'm not sure if he said next, but yeah, we're working on a project, and it's gonna be directed. It's directed by Martin Scorsese, and it will star me, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. And this was a decade ago.
Fuck yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy to hear Joe Pesci.
A decade,
involved
and
in
people
this,
were just like, "Woo!" So basically, since then, I've been trying to, I've been following it, and of course, me being the nerd that I am, while I'm like awaiting impatiently for the release and for like the updates and all that stuff, I read about what project they're working on. So
Mm.
I heard that it's based off a book called "I Heard You Paint Houses" by Charles Brandt, and it's apparently about the story of Frank Sheeran, also called the Irishman. Also, the with I don't know, he has a lot of like nicknames, but Frank Sheeran, claims who claimed to have been the murderer of Jimmy Hoffa. So that's as much as I know about it. That's as much as
Okay.
I knew about it before the film. So that
Hmm.
was me. That was me before.
Yeah.
So afterwards, of course, there are all these details that did play into what I knew about it. He's actually, spoiler. He actually killed Jimmy Hoffa. His character did and everything. But here's a good this is what I think it's about. Okay. I think it's about death. I really think it's about death. I think it's about death. I think it's about mortality, and that's why the main character is primarily. I don't want to label him as a killer, but he dealt with death a lot in his life, not just as a killer, but with, he was basically the angel of death for a lot of people. They were saying history says
Wow.
that he did it. He killed 30 people. And that's like apart from how many people he killed in the war. So and
Yeah, because in war, it's like people
it's
they're
yeah it's the
expendable
yeah
anyway.
You
You
exactly.
don't.
know. Mm.
Exactly. It's not
Oh
really
wow.
your care. So it happens, and I think it's about that, and I think it's about um, wh- I think it's about a question. Okay, I think it's about a question, and the question is, what is it all for? What is everything all for? And one of the scenes that really stand out for me was the scene with when he was in the war, and he had his gun pointed at like these two officers or two soldiers from the other
The
team.
Germans.
Yeah, the German
Hmm.
soldiers, and they were digging their own grave. They were digging their
Yeah.
own grave, and
Right.
Robert De
What?
Niro said, "What I don't get. I don't get why people in those kinds of circumstances, like, they keep digging. Like, why do they keep
Hmm.
digging? Why do they do? Are they thinking that if they did like a better job, that the executioner or whatever would like spare them or something? But I think that's what it's all about. I think that's what it's all about. Like, why do we know where we're going? So what is the path for? So I think that's
And
what it is.
there's something really poignant too about that when he goes to the funeral parlor and he's choosing out his own casket, and he chooses the green one, the Irish green casket. And then he goes to the mortuary and he chooses the highest one. He doesn't want to be cremated. There's something about like he
Yeah.
is holding in this whole life of truth that would answer a lot of questions in our American history, and but even that, choosing the color of the casket, going in the highest mortuary placement, like he is still he stands for himself. I have it here. He is purposely creating. He is designing his own death, and he knows it. And I don't know. I thought that's a very poignant way to look at it. That it's about death.
I think
And then
yeah.
you could even think about you could even put into consideration the age of all the makers of the movie, the
Exactly.
Scorsese. You
Correct.
know how old everybody is and how their legacy of and their contribution to the cinema. But I didn't think of it. I didn't think it was about that. But that's an interesting way to look at it. That it's about death.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I That's what I. That's what I. That's what I.
Mona is like reacting over
Oh,
here.
okay. So that's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was about. But then again, it could just be me. It could just
No,
be
no,
me. I think everything is about
but the
death.
thing is,
you
oh
know.
man, dude. But what looks okay.
But hold on.
No,
Before we expound on my thing, can you hold that thought, Logan?
Okay.
Okay. Can we just let's hear your takes on it first. Like Sunshine, what's your take on it? What do you think
Well,
it's
the
about?
thing is, like, when I watched the movie, I don't know anything about it. All I know
You
is
saw it in the
that,
theater, right? You saw it in the movie theater.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw
With
it in
people?
the theater. Yes, because I don't think you mentioned it already here in this episode that um, it was released also. It's released in Netflix, but it was first released in the theater for a few screenings, right? Or
Yes.
for a few, like,
Select.
what do you call
Yeah.
it?
It was like a. It
Yeah,
was a
select
select.
theaters
Yeah,
and
select
stuff.
theaters.
Because remember, like, when you first told me that, when I first heard about The Irishman,
Mm-hmm.
then I thought that, okay, we're gonna watch it in the theater. But then Marky mentioned to me, like, no, it's gonna be in Netflix.
Yeah.
And I told Mark, and I asked Marky, why is it gonna be on Netflix? Isn't it Martin Scorsese, the one who said that it's not, it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
part of like the Oscars or something
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have a theatrical release?
Yeah.
And then why is he, releasing a movie in Netflix?
Yeah.
And then Marky said that part of the negotiation with
Yeah.
Netflix is
Yeah.
that, yeah, I'll release it in Netflix, but you
Yeah.
have to
That's
also
their
release it,
business, you know.
Yeah.
release it in the theater,
Yeah.
even just for a few,
So
few
they
theaters or
adjusted
something.
to Martin Scorsese's wills or wishes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
I think they adjusted it to the Oscars wills, like
I don't think
in
so.
order for.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because
You don't think so?
they didn't do it they didn't do it before. They could have.
Roma.
well, the thing is, like,
but
if that's what Martin Scorsese wants.
Yeah.
I mean,
Roma
why not?
when Roma was okay. First of all, Roma wasn't like a Netflix movie. So when they did that for Roma, they already had the deal with Martin Scorsese, and they didn't do it for like Cannes Film Festival and everything. So I don't know. Well, not just Martin Scorsese, but I think one of the main reasons why they kind of they broke that rule was like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, might as well. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, so when I was, I saw the trailer and stuff like that. I probably saw the trailer maybe once or twice only or something. I didn't really watch it.
Uh-huh.
I know that it's a gangster movie. I know that Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino is going to be there. That's basically it. I heard that it's about Hoffa.
Yeah.
I don't know who Hoffa is.
Okay.
I don't know anything
None
about
of
him or
us do.
something.
None of us do.
Yeah. So when and then I researched like where is it going to be showing? Because if it's going to show here, I would like to watch it in the theater, and found out that it's showing in Castro. Actually, like a week before I saw the movie in the theater, maybe a week or 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks. Martin Scorsese was actually in that theater on the premiere of that movie.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's too bad. If I only knew that, I would have definitely go and stuff. But anyway, so bought my ticket, and Eric dropped me off in the city and Castro, and I watched the movie. And it's like it's not like the Century Theater that's like big commercial theater. It's just like a small theater like Aquarius before and stuff like that.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Is the
it's a small
Aquarius no
theater.
longer? Is there no longer the Aquarius? My heart's gonna
Aquarius
break.
the one in
Palo
is the
Alto.
Aquarius the one in Palo Alto? No, I think it's
Is that-
still there. Which one is the one in Menlo Park?
The Park Theater?
Menlo Park.
Yeah.
What theater was that? There's
The
one
Park?
in Menlo
The Park? The Guild.
Guild in Menlo
That's no
Park,
longer
right?
there?
No. The one that they always show Rocky Horror Show? I don't think
There's
it's
no
there
longer?
anymore.
Okay,
No.
we're like at like 10:50
anyway,
right now.
so-
Yeah, let's
Okay.
stay on the
So
Irishman.
anyway,
My heart is broken. Oh no.
So I went to the
Okay.
theater all by myself. I actually saw the movie by myself and stuff. And it's actually good that I went there because like it's like I feel like there's not a lot of like because it's like a serious movie, right? It's like something. It's not like a blockbuster kind of
Yeah.
like
It's not like
for
a
just
popcorn
for
movie. Yeah.
entertainment, like just like that. It's like
Yeah.
actually like if you go there, it's because you are actually gonna watch this movie, because nobody is
Yeah.
gonna just go there and sit for 3.5 hours. You have to
Just
be
to
really
yeah,
committed
just to
to
bond with
go to
like
the
your
theater.
yeah.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
not
Let
like
me
you're
ask
just
you
killing time for
something.
2 hours or something.
Let me ask you something. So, like, because I think that's kind of the beauty of cinema is I'm watching a movie and I may miss something, like a key thing, but there's an audience member in like the front
Yeah.
row or to the side that might get
Hmm.
it, and I catch along, like, oh, they're reacting to something.
Yeah.
That's what But
Ah.
at
Yeah.
home and Netflix, I might miss stuff. So, how was the reaction of people responding to the movie
Yes.
when you saw
I,
it with a crowd?
yeah. That's why I'm really glad that I actually went out of my way really went to watch a movie in the theater, because it's like it's like in San Francisco, so it's maybe like adults like older crowd or something like that, whatever. Well, mixed crowd, but mostly adult crowd. And then Um, so when they dim the lights and stuff,
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
clap, like they clap,
See,
Nice.
and
that's
then
Very
great.
cool.
and then they open the curtain. There's
Now
a
it means
curtain,
something
in the
for
screen.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
they opened the curtain and stuff like that, and people were
It's like
reacting, even
unveiling a
especially.
piece of work.
But here's one thing I didn't understand why. When they showed, of course, they showed the Netflix logo because it's a Netflix
Yeah.
movie,
Right.
and then people start doing
They booed?
Like
no.
like hmm.
That's
I don't
odd.
know if it's I don't know if it's just
They hissed at it?
happened.
Oh.
I don't know. I was like
That's
I
very
wonder
odd.
what it is. But I was like, is that really is it not for that um for the
Well, it's
logo? Maybe they're
television.
just talking about something, or maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
television
reaction
in
of
your
the
movie
logo or
theater.
something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know
or
why they would do that.
I'm not
That's
really sure. I'm not really sure what it meant, or maybe it's not for the Netflix logo. But I don't know. But that's what I noticed
no, it
anyway.
must have been. Why would
So
they? If they're clapping
no,
and immediately sissing is to
yeah.
the Netflix, I guess.
I don't know. So
Interesting.
anyway, but then very engaging and stuff like that. And then when the movie starts, it's like then the movie started
Were,
and
were,
people
were you
laughed and stuff like
were
that.
you thrown off? Were you thrown off by the title? I heard you paint I heard you paint houses. Title, which is
No,
not
I
the
didn't
Irishman.
catch
I
it.
know that
Yeah, yeah.
that,
I
that
didn't.
So,
I
so
didn't.
the I heard you
Actually, I
paint
didn't
houses.
catch that
Title is
part.
the book. Is the book that it's
yeah,
Yeah.
based on.
yeah. It was
So it's kind
weird
of
that
like
they showed that.
Scorsese. It's kind of like Scorsese saying, "This is the title of our movie,
I know.
based on this
Oh,
book."
I
But
know.
until you see the Irishman title at the closing credits.
I
And
didn't
and,
even
and
catch
they
that
showed
part.
the Irishman like after the director's credit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
right. I
did.
think they did.
They
I
did.
think
So
they
it's like,
did.
whoa,
It was
like
kind of like, oh, by the way, this is for the Irishman. What?
yeah, yeah.
You know what?
I wouldn't
Now
have done
I'm
that. I
looking.
wouldn't have done that. But
That
hey.
was pretty. I gotta admit, that's kind of a ballsy
Yeah.
thing, for
Yeah.
it's like.
I would be like that. That
But
would
now,
confuse people. I
Yeah,
would
exactly. You think the title is "I heard you paint
yeah.
horses," but why is it all
Houses.
chopped
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
Or
well,
houses? Yeah.
actually, the thing is, like, I think the first time I heard about the Irishman, like maybe maybe I've heard from my brothers already before. I thought it would have been The Departed, because
Oh,
isn't The
what do you
Departed
mean?
Scorsese?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
The Departed is like
Irish
Irish,
people. Yeah.
like they're Irish people or something. I thought that what it was or something. But anyway,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah. So
I see the
anyway,
connection. Yeah.
but when can I tell you the ending credits also?
Hmm.
So the
Hmm.
Okay,
the
yeah,
end
yeah,
of the
sure.
movie, people, of course, people clapped, and they were clapping and after the movie. And you know what I appreciate also is that in the movie they have CGI team, because they CGI'd Robert De
Yeah.
Niro to be younger and stuff like that, because it's all different generations,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And people actually, I think a bunch of people were actually waiting at the credits, and then when they saw their name or probably somebody they know, they cheered, because the CGI part is also at the Lucas Farm or Lucas Films or something,
Yeah, that
Oh,
makes
like
or
sense.
or
Skywalker
some small
Ranch.
company, or
Oh,
I
okay.
That's
think
so
it's
funny.
Lucas
LTD.
company
Yeah,
was
industrial
there.
ILM or something?
Industrial Light
You know,
Magic.
Yeah, or
that's what
also
that.
there's also the other those other different companies also that does that. That's also in the Bay Area or something. Maybe they're
Yeah.
cheering because it's just like the credits is rolling and
And
stuff like that. But
and
it's kind of cool.
the closing
Yeah.
credits
Sat
is like
there
a 10
and
minutes
waited.
long.
So you
It's
sat
10
there with
Yeah.
minutes.
so you sat there with people who worked on it.
I always sit through the credits,
No,
that.
I mean you sat. I mean like yeah. I mean you
People
sat.
worked
yeah,
on
like
it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
yeah, they were like in the next row
Or
or
probably
something.
like
But then
they
that's
knew
kind
people.
of that's kind of the
yeah,
thing. Like
so
when you work on like I've worked on various movies, and you see it at the premiere, right? The audience will clap. Oh, there's so and so. There's so and so. Like they clap at their own when
yeah,
their names come up, or they're
yeah,
proud
that's
of
really
the.
cool.
So, yeah.
It's like almost
So
like, oh, that's so cool that they
it's like a
get
job
to see
well
that
done.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and after the movie, then they close the curtain again. So I was like, oh my god, it's like a real proper theater,
But you know, though,
Logan, have you worked with Bradley Cooper before?
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
When you say with, I mean I worked on a movie that he worked on.
Okay.
Yeah, Aloha,
Okay.
Cameron Crowe movie.
Yeah, I was gonna catch you slipping. I thought you were gonna say yes, and then I was gonna say, see, that's why De Niro worked with Al Pacino in Godfather too. But then you didn't slip. You didn't slip. That's good. That's good.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
anyway,
I'll tell you, I worked with Cameron Crowe.
Okay. So so the experience and Sunshine, what do you think of the movie? What do you think it's about? It's funny how this is even a question. Like, what is it about? You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like, I don't really look at movies as about what's it about.
Right.
I think
It's a funny
I
question.
think I see it more like what's it saying?
Yeah. Or
What's the
I think I
message?
see-
What was
think
the
it's a
experience? For me, it's like, what was the
I
experience?
think for me, it's like, what is it saying? I think it's just saying that it's a story of a guy, the
Yeah.
Irishman,
Yeah.
and then it just shows you like well, what I know that it's like how he's telling his story. It's not like a script. It's not like what we know of him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually how he tells his story.
Actually, yeah.
He's actually the one
They
telling
did mention
the story.
that. They did mention that. They
Yes.
did mention that. He might not have been like a 100% like credible source
Yeah.
of like facts.
Well, just
but,
like when there's that moment where he's at court and he's indicted and he has to say, I take the fifth. The voiceover says, and I've only seen it once, so I'm not like 100% on all the particulars. But the voiceover is, oh yeah, I was indicted for this and that and the other, no big deal. And then it shows the subtitle of murder, attempted murder. This is what he's indicted for robbery. Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, how reliable is our narrator? You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why, so I think when I watch a movie, I just watch it. I just let the movie tell the story. And then I just like and then I just absorb it. Like when you're listening to a story, it's same thing. It's in a movie or something like that. But the thing is, like, what I know that's different here is like it's a 3.5-hour movie. So I sat through it. I didn't get bored or anything.
I wasn't bored either.
Just like but it did. That's why I told you guys that it's actually slower pace.
Yeah.
Because especially after you guys
If you
showed me
compare
the
to,
trailer,
Yeah.
and the trailer is all like action, and I was like, oh, I hope that they don't think that it's like Goodfellas pace.
No.
It's not a Goodfellas pace. It's more like Godfather pace. Actually, it's like just like
that's a good point.
Like a slower.
It's a slow burn.
Storytelling.
Slow burn,
Exactly. So that's why I told you guys, like, because that's when I first thought of it. Oh, okay, it's a slower pace or something.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just let the movie play and stuff. But what's actually significant for me is like, so after the movie, I was like, I didn't really got a conclusion of how I feel about it, or like how I really think about it. Not feel. What I feel about it is like it's a great movie. But why made it great? What made it like good? What made it interesting or something like that? It didn't hit me until 2 days after. Until 2 days after. It didn't hit me until like looking back and stuff, because it's a 3.5 fact. It's a lot of stories and stuff like that, whatever. So, and there's a different aspects of his life.
So you buffered for like 2 days.
His professional, his and he's not really saying that I am like this. It's not like that. It's just showing of like what happened in his life. So it's like, so what does it, what does it say about him? That kind of thing or whatever. And so it didn't hit me until 2 days after. And then what
What
I
hit you?
really, it hit me is this. The first thing that when it hit me, what I was thinking is like, this movie is not a standalone movie. For me, I see it like, to really appreciate the sentiment of this movie is you have to know all of Scorsese's movies, gangster movies especially.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Because it's almost like it's showing me that, Goodfellas, Casino, they're like younger, vibrant gangsters and loud and obnoxious and showy and all this like richness and that kind of
Glamorous.
thing. And all of a sudden, the glamour of it and stuff. And all of a sudden, this part is like an older gangster. What happened to them afterwards? How did it go? How did they die? How did they live the rest of their life? And stuff like that. So for me,
kind of
it's
epilogue.
Like
it's like an epilogue.
Yeah.
To the
So
gangster genre
like,
they contributed. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I can really, because if you think about gangster movies, who you think of? Scorsese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
pretty
Or
much.
or Coppola.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Coppola, but Scorsese, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Martin
Goombas,
Scorsese.
yeah.
If you think about it, like if you're gonna if I'm gonna tell a person, oh, you want to watch a gangster movie, Goodfellas. I'm gonna tell them Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
Scorsese films first, but then I'm not gonna tell them to watch The Irishman first, because for me, The Irishman is more of sentimental in a way because I've seen the journey of Scorsese as a person director kind of thing, of which stories interest him, which stories he wants to tell first, and then how it evolved. And even The Departed is a gangster movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then now it's like this. Now it's like at the tail end, the 25th hour of someone's life.
You know what?
Something like that.
Somebody asked Richard Linklater, the director Richard Linklater, who made like Before Sunrise, Sunset, School of Rock.
Tape.
They asked him, because he was talking about Scorsese and the De Niro dynamic, and they go, "What movie should I watch to be introduced to, the Scorsese De Niro dynamic?" And you know what Richard Linklater said? He said you should start with King of Comedy. And it's like, that's kind of an odd, peculiar turn of a head movie to watch. It's very, it's not dark, but it's whatever. But then he goes, after you see King Comedy, then you watch Raging Bull, then you watch Goodfellas, then you see like whoa, it's so. It's interesting that you say that you should know Scorsese's work before watching The Irishman, because it does stand alone as like an epic film and everything. But I do think it's more testimonial for a filmmaker and the actor dynamic career, their legacy. Without those other films, it's like it kind of it's not a big deal. The only big deal would be that Pacino's working with them for the first time or something. But the fact that they had it is, that's why when I was watching, I was kind of getting touched in really odd moments, Mark. I was like, Jesus, they're all together again. And we've been waiting for this. So.
But that's the thing, Logan, because that sentiment you're feeling is because you knew about the other films.
Yeah, we have an upbringing with Scorsese. Yeah. We have an upbringing,
Exactly. So for them, it's like for you to see them.
It works. So you're saying that it works better. It works better if you know the context of like his Scorsese's career.
It doesn't work better, but the impact, the intensity of the impact to you.
Sure.
You show a kid, you say, "Hey, have you seen The Irishman?" 14-year-old kid, yeah, whatever. It was long, boring, whatever. It's like, dude, have you seen Goodfellas? Have you seen Casino? Do you know what you're watching when you're watching it? It's like, it's really, and it's very fan serviced, but it means something to us. This is important for us, for me, but it's important for us, and. I mean, Martin Scorsese,
it's
knocked it
it's just
out the park, in my opinion. A flawless
it's
film.
almost like showing. It's important to us because it's almost showing like we didn't even realize it, but there's almost like an evolution of how the gangster films are
Yeah.
shown, the
Yeah.
Can we
storytelling
talk?
of it.
Can we talk about that in a moment? Like in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of Joe Pesci, for example, the
Oh
performance
yeah.
stuff. So
Let me
Joe,
just add. Oh, can I
yeah,
just
go,
add like to finish it
please.
up? So the thing is like, so the sentiment of it is like what it kicked me. Why is it sentimental and stuff like that? It kicked me there because I was like, oh, it's for me, it's like almost like a conclusion of all these projects or something that that he lived or something like with all these movies.
What do you call it? A bow or the
Yeah,
bow
and not just
the
that.
final curtain call. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just that. It's also because for me, it's like almost showing. It showed me. It gave me an insight of where he is. Martin Scorsese is right now as a person. He's older now. Is he thinking the same way as this older gangsters is? Like before, he is like the
De Niro too,
director.
for that matter. De Niro.
Yeah, I mean, like, it shows. Is he show? Am I seeing an insight of where does he feel right now as a person? Like he's older, and stuff like that, whatever. And it's not like, and nobody even like that. Marky pointed out, like, remember, like, did when he asked the nurse like who Hoffa is and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and then
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, no, the nurse says no, and then that's exactly like now.
But that's us. That's
nowadays,
us. Our generation, we're like, we don't know who Hoffa is, but we just see the
yeah,
entire
but that's the
movie.
thing. When you asked the newer, but when we heard about Martin Scorsese, how old were you? What teens? Not even 20.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, we knew Scorsese.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No,
Yeah.
I knew
But
Scorsese before Logan did, though.
Shut up, Mark.
But
You know.
But that's
But here's the thing,
it's
ask
an
the
insignificant detail, but it's true.
I know, but here's the thing. Ask a person the same age as when you learned about Scorsese. Ask another kid right now if they know who Scorsese is. What do you think they're gonna say?
They don't.
Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
that the guy that doesn't
that's
like
the-
Marvel comics?
So-
You know?
Yeah. You know what?
so
It's
that's
funny,
what they're
but
gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah, that's true.
So that's the thing. So now it's like, is he?
Why is he a
feeling
big
that
deal?
now?
He's a
Is he-
wise man. He's a wise man. He should be respected.
But
We
that's
should
the thing.
respect our
Is it-
elders.
Yeah,
But
true.
that's why it's like, is it that also sentiment? It's also sentimental for me because I'm like, oh my god, Scorsese probably feels the same way. That's why it's so.
Yeah.
That's why this is the angle that
So
he's
so
seeing, that he's
feels the same
showing
way
us
about what? Feels the same way
about his life.
about
Where's
his
he
life.
right
About
now?
us not knowing who Hoffa
About
is. We don't know who he is.
about
Yeah,
aging. Exactly.
About aging.
Just like I said,
Where he is, the stage of his life.
stage of his life, which
You
is
know.
close to what? I mean, let's say it.
Dude, he is like pushing.
He's
He's
77.
like 70.
He's 77.
Yeah,
So he's
late
thinking
70s.
about,
The legacy.
he's thinking about the legacy, and he's thinking about, this. It may be his last, or, he doesn't have a lot of time left. That's
Logan,
why.
don't say it.
No, I'm
Logan-
I'm really like.
No,
you know,
that's
that's
why.
what-
That's
really
why
emotional
I.
about
That kind of connects with what I think of it. You know what I mean? That kind of connects with what I
Yeah.
think of it. I think
about
it's
a death.
It's about
Wow.
death. I think
Yeah,
it's about
and
that.
also like remember like at the end of the thing, it's like the bulk of the movie, which is all of his movies, like a gangster. It's like Henry Hill and like
Yeah.
and Robert DeNiro in Casino. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like they're the peak of
Yeah.
their prime.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
prime. But
I'll-
after
I'll-
this prime, where did it happen?
Yeah,
They're all like in jail.
yeah.
They can.
Oh, the
smoke
scene.
bread.
The scene. Okay, stop. Sorry, I'm sorry. The scene with Pesci. Pesci's final scene of the movie when he's in the wheelchair and he goes, "Hey, where are you going?" And he goes, "Oh, Frankie. Oh, I'm going to church."
Don't laugh. You'll see.
Yo, don't
You
laugh.
have to say. You have to
see.
mention that. Don't laugh. You'll see.
Don't laugh. You'll see. I was so fucking. He's done.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Exactly. See?
Pesci is
That's
so.
my point. That's my
Let's talk,
point.
okay, let me talk about this real quick. In terms of Scorsese, yeah, De Niro's involved, but in terms of the Scorsese element to Pesci's element to Scorsese, in Raging Bull, he gets his ass kicked by his brother. In Goodfellas, he's a hothead, wild, James Cagney, fucking varmint, that kind of wild sociopath. In Casino, he is the same level of De Niro. The same level, like in terms of partnership, whatever.
Yeah.
And by the way, in Goodfellas, he becomes a made man, but he dies, right? In The Irishman,
He doesn't
he's
become a made man.
graduated.
It's a bogus ceremony. I mean, it didn't happen.
Really?
It didn't happen. I mean, if it,
Well,
even if
you know what?
even if it was legit, it didn't happen. There was a ceremony that was to be
We both
done.
have seen it a million times, and you may be correct, and I may be wrong on that. It was a bogus ceremony. Like,
I mean-
really?
I
They
mean-
weren't going to honor him?
I mean, even if they were, the ceremony didn't happen, so he didn't get made. You know.
No,
Yeah.
that's substantial. He
Yeah.
did not get made.
Yeah.
Okay. In The Irishman,
Mm-hmm.
I just love the fact that Pesci is now the Don,
Yeah.
you know? And not only the
True.
Don of all these movies, look, I have it in my notes. The detail of the Kennedy election, the Goodfellas guys, the Casino guys, they do not have political power, but the Irishman guys have political touch, and they're the reason Kennedy got elected. If anything, they'd say, Jimmy Kahn or all you guys down below, Goodfellas, you Goodfellas, you have to do what we need to do in
Yeah.
order for Kennedy to get elected. But it's the option, the decision of the Irishman guys that say Kennedy is going to be elected. And Kennedy
Yeah.
fucked them over. That's why they
Yeah.
assassinated him. But so even with the whole legacy, Scorsese, Pesci coming up to being where he is as a character, he's so subdued. I loved his performance. God, he was great.
Hold on. We have to. Unless you don't want to talk about what you think of the movie, or because we were talking about like what I thought the movie was about or whatever. Actually, you were the one who raised that question, and you haven't answered it. Have you answered it?
Me? Who?
No, Logan.
Me?
Logan. Yeah.
What I think it's about?
Yeah.
I think your answer is better than mine, but I think it's about loyalty.
No, it's okay. There's no better answer. I mean, my answer is always going to be better than
I
yours.
thought it was about loyalty, and the key scene is the ring scene where he gives him the ring. He said, "This is about only 3 people in the world have this: me, Harvey Keitel, and now you. This ring." And it's in my notes.
And you're the first one.
And you're the Irishman.
Yeah, you're the first Irish one.
Only one of them is Irish, he said.
Yeah.
Do you know what ring? This is fucking Scorsese symbolic thing. What finger does he put that ring on?
The ring finger.
He's
The
married
wedding
to the
finger.
mob.
Yeah.
He's married to the mob.
Michelle Pfeiffer style.
Okay. He's married, yes. And so therefore, obviously, there's the conflict with Frank Sheeran. Like, I love Jimmy Hoffa. He made me a Teamster. I'm elected, or rather, there's this ceremony for me, and I asked him to speak at this ceremony, and now I got to kill him. Like, who am I married to? Am I married to Jimmy Hoffa politics, or am I married to the mob, Russell, Joe Pesci, who brought me into this world that I've always wanted to be in? Because Frank Sheeran has no problem popping people in the head. We could talk about our favorite scenes and stuff, but like I think that is the conflict, the internal conflict with De Niro's character.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
I'm ordered to do something that is the exact opposite of what I want to do.
Here's the thing. Going back to that scene is definitely significant. It's a prominent scene right there because that's where that's like what kickstarts the third act. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does play along to the thought that I had about because it's about these people who he's torn between like the principles of people. Okay. He was like in between, and he was like torn, like in between, like men with really, really, really with a stronghold on their principles, So so that was like a big part of it for that turning point in the story, but then I'm not saying that it's like a wrong thing to highlight or whatever, but yeah, it does also play a big part at the end when everyone started becoming insignificant. Because, like you said, Joe Pesci was like, I mean, they were all weak, and Joe Pesci had a stroke, and De Niro, finally, okay, De Niro's, what do you call this? His back problem was like getting worse. I guess he had like arthritis or something.
The crutches, yeah,
yeah.
that
So
was
his back
heartbreaking
problems
to
was like
watch,
getting
yeah.
worse. I guess he had this like back problem from when he was like even younger, from his younger days in the war and everything. And actually, he wore like a something to make his shoulders like kind of raise a little bit.
I missed that. I missed
Yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
he was kind of. So anyway, so in the end, it turns out like, so you're along like for this like ride of, oh, whose principle is gonna prevail, right? Is it gonna be Hoffa's, or is it gonna be the people that Russell Buffalino, Joe Pesci, is representing, right? So you don't know who's gonna prevail, but then in the end, okay, Hoffa got killed, but in the end, they all,
Would it all matter? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What happened? So he's just another. He's just De Niro just became like another man, alone in a fucking old folks' home, with the door slightly open, and that's it.
But don't you think though that is so like for his own importance? Like he's like, if I don't matter to anybody, I'm not even going to tell the CIA or whatever, the feds, even though everybody's dead, I'm still holding the story to my own. That casket scene, him choosing the green casket, I'm going to choose that in the mortuary, that placement, that's where I'm going to be. I don't want to be cremated. Like that really is, it's important to him. Like I'm not just gonna be insignificant. Okay, Jimmy Hoffa, no one knows the people, but for me, I'm making a statement by being silent and having these things in order, in his death. And
I don't know.
I actually see it differently.
Yeah, me too.
I see it differently.
Say what?
Because I see it differently.
Okay.
Because like, yeah. So at the end, you ask, what the heck is that killing for? Then you killed,
or not just killing, everything, like
no,
siding with friends.
well, let's talk about specifically like Al Pacino. Like the killing of him, like when he gets Mona's watching it. So
what part? What part?
I know, but here's the thing. Yeah. So what's it for? In the end, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it did matter. It did matter to his daughter. That freaking.
I have a lot to say about that.
That hit that he did, didn't matter right now, but it actually mattered. That action mattered later on because he doesn't have family because of that. Yeah. The reason why he's picking his coffin where he's going to be buried and something.
Because no one else is picking it for him?
He's picking, exactly. He is picking it himself because nobody's else going to take care of it. So,
yeah.
Actually, if he thinks that he's doing it,
that makes sense.
If he's doing it for like it's his job, his loyalty to these people, that's what it's his responsibility. But then, actually, at the end, those people that he cared about and obeyed are not there. And the people that he pushed because of that he chose to live this life with these other guys are the one that not there. That's supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. Because
interesting, because
that thing with Hoffa, like his daughter didn't talk to him anymore at all.
Which was like a very good display of
strength, because that's where it plays like that's why people saying like people have issues about there's no strong female character in this movie, and I disagree, because his daughter is super strong because he actually stood up against him.
Peggy Sheeran, played by Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
So
he is a killer, but then his daughter stood up against him because without even saying anything.
Not just her, but all his daughters.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, but especially
no.
they
Like,
showed more they showed more.
She was
of,
more firm.
Peggy.
She was more
Yeah,
firm.
but
She was
Peggy,
like, you know,
because
nope, I'm not even gonna have a word with you.
not just that. They're trying to even buy her affection. Remember, like Joe Pesci would try to,
Oh,
like,
right.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then for her, it's like, I know you're up to something, and you can't fool me. You can fool everybody, but I'm not buying it. And up
Yeah.
to the end, he stood up and then just like turned her back, that kind of thing. So for me, that's actually very strong because he chose he chose she chose
Can
to
we
do
talk about
something
Anna
or
Paquin?
not know.
Can we talk about
I
Anna
don't. I
Paquin
don't.
real quick?
How long do you guys have? Because that's the thing.
What do you
Like,
mean?
you guys have you guys are the ones with the
38%
schedule.
battery?
No. You guys are the ones with the
Oh, I'm
schedule.
here till the end of time, baby. I'm here. Hold my hand.
Here's let's can we consider like having another 10 minutes of this and then that's it.
Okay.
Sure.
Is that cool?
Fine.
10 minutes,
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? 10 minutes left?
Dude, didn't we
I
talk
got,
about
4 pages of notes?
Didn't we talk about an hour of this and a 20-minute material?
I was letting it go. Podcasting is supposed to be like, let it flow.
No. Don't give me that bullshit.
The Irishman.
That's why. Still, you should have brought that shit up when I was talking about 20 minutes apiece.
I had 20 minutes apiece.
Okay,
Dude,
you get the next 10 minutes. You get the next 10 minutes then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's because I'm.
So your
my
4
notes are
pages is
dictating-
20 minutes.
They could be an hour, 2 hours if you need it to be. But my point is, my notes are dictating our conversation. We're talking about Anna Paquin. I have an Anna Paquin section.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying if it's gonna. Damn you guys.
It's okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
if we
I
have
got
10
my
minutes,
Criterion shirt,
if
my
we have
Criterion
10 minutes,
sweat.
if we have 10 minutes, if you want to talk about Anna Paquin in the last 10 minutes, go ahead. Go
Logan,
ahead.
I want to hear.
I have a paragraph, and that can dovetail into something else. All right, guys. Jesus Christ. Anna Paquin, there's just... Okay. Energize it. Okay. Anna Paquin wasn't just casted. Anna Paquin is an Oscar winner.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Paquin won for The Piano. There's a reason why she was cast. The character Peggy, which I really responded to as a young girl, she is the only point of view that we as the audience see that the mob is dirty, the mob is bad. Her reaction shots, right? And it grows into the character being older, which is played by Anna Paquin, and she still sees that. She has a hatred for her father, and she's very weary of her associates. However, we never see her react shot-wise when she's looking at Jimmy Hoffa, because she likes Jimmy Hoffa. And Jimmy Hoffa gives her ice cream, he dances with her, and we never see a reaction shot of her judging Jimmy Hoffa. It's only her father and associates. And that's what I was going to say too. That controversy is such bullshit about, there's not enough female lines in the movie, because I think Anna Paquin is the most significant character of the story. She is her nonverbal, her silence is actually
says a lot more.
How we're supposed. It says more than needs to
words.
say, and we're supposed to look at her or look at the mob and her and the way she views it.
Yeah.
And that's I think it's counterproductive. I think the people that are putting a controversy to it is people who have not seen the movie, and they're judging it without seeing it.
Yeah.
But I think that Peggy character is the most significant character in the whole movie.
I think so. I think it represented us even. Maybe it represented
Yeah, that's
us.
my point. Exactly.
Yeah.
Not who we would like to be in the film. I mean, of course we'd be like, we'd want to be Russell, or we'd want to be whatever. But actually we're Anna Paquin, you know what I mean? Like you guys are up to something. You guys are up to something.
And they wouldn't just cast
fooling
Anna
anyone.
Paquin. They wouldn't just cast Anna Paquin. Anna Paquin is fucking great,
Yeah.
She was in 25th Hour. I don't know. I like Anna Paquin. And
Yeah.
I'm going to cast somebody that has maybe 6 lines in a movie. I'm going to cast Anna Paquin. That's cool to me,
Yeah, because sometimes the look says more than words, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way,
That's definitely it.
Okay, is your
Which
friend
is a
there?
female
Logan?
thing to do.
Is your friend there?
Is it?
Logan,
Oh, okay. What?
is your friend there with the details? Because we can't just give all credit to Anna Paquin, because Anna Paquin played like 30% of the role. 70% was the little girl. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
you want me to look her up right now or something?
Yeah.
Or,
What's her? I mean, you don't have to.
Mike?
If you want to stay on Anna Paquin, we can stay on Anna Paquin. I'm just saying. Like Anna Paquin
yeah,
played her
definitely.
like in the last like 30% of the
Hey, Mike.
role's
Mike,
involvement.
Can you look up
Right?
Irishman, young Peggy, please? Young Peggy Irishman. Just look up the actress's name. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike or Mark says thank you.
Well, people are actually saying that she's like the symbol. Peggy is a symbol.
Of
Oh, I need a password.
Of moral compass or something.
It's
Of
exclamation
us?
point.
hold on.
Capitalized
Do you
number-
want to
Irishman.
do you want to say
number
that?
one.
Do you want to say your password on on a podcast?
Doesn't matter. To me.
Look, what's your username?
Guys,
All right.
I'm 3 pages in. Like I got
But
a lot
still,
more. I can
come
say.
on. We have to be. I don't want. I don't want.
All
Like
right,
I
fair
said,
enough. We'll give her credit.
I don't.
Should we give credit to the young girl that
Yes,
played
please,
across
please.
DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Young Dolores.
What's your name?
Young Dolores.
This guy, man.
Young Peggy.
No matter
Peggy,
how
Peggy.
many times, the only. Okay.
So what else is more
Peggy,
significant? you
Peggy
think?
was
It's
Anna
like,
Paquin. What's the younger version?
what
of Peggy?
else do you think is more significant? Like another significant thing that
Well,
you feel
I'll tell
strongly
you,
about what the
But
movie
by the way,
saying?
I don't want to look like I'm fucking bypassing Anna Paquin's thing, because she's really really good, and she played a very good role, and and her role is just like amazing, because like I've always loved characters who don't really.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we talked
Talk
about
a
the
lot.
acting.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we talked about a little bit about Pacino.
I love Pacino. I love
I do
Pacino
too.
in this movie.
Yeah, I know. He's really good. He has that and that's the thing. Pacino on the surface could his character Jimmy Hoffa on the surface could be very just very I'm not saying like irritating or whatever, but sometimes there's those character decisions that you're just like, come on man, just fucking let it go,
Oh,
but I think it's a big
I'm going to talk about my favorite
but
scene
I
in a
think
moment.
it's very significant to
We'll see
what
young
Sunshine.
Peggy there.
What?
There's no young Peggy listed.
Peggy?
Peggy's classmate.
Who's Anna Paquin play?
Peggy.
And then look at the young version of that.
So what I'm
Okay.
Sorry.
saying is like it plays.
Jamie.
So what was I saying?
Older Peggy.
Hoffa.
Oh,
annoying,
Hoffa.
sometimes.
Oh, how it connects to what you're thinking about with the Scorsese thing, because I think what Hoffa was trying to
Young
really
Peggy
fight
was
for
Lucy Galena.
was
You saw Lucy Galena?
Lucy Galena.
Lucy Galena.
Yeah, Lucy Galena.
Thank you.
Lucy Galena plays young Peggy,
The
which
young
Gotta give her
Peggy.
credit.
yeah, she really set that role up very well.
You were talking about Hoffa. I have a bit about that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so Hoffa, because what else do you have? At that
Me?
point in no, I mean
Oh.
like at that point in your life, kind of like see, that's what happens when you make a point of drinking 3 bottles in fucking 40 minutes.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
dude,
Okay, here's the thing.
dude,
Okay.
Dude. All right,
Okay.
dude.
Okay,
dude.
let me get back.
This is important. and,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. So what I'm saying is like, what else do you have, right? What else do you have? What else do you have? Like
Principal.
to and principle and whatever you have, whatever you think is yours, which to him was his union. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Scorsese.
Well, that's what
with
I
his
have here.
movies.
Exactly here. Hoffa,
Yeah.
the character Hoffa, and this is all according to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He is really a man to respect. He's loyal to his union. He built it, even though through criminal means, of course. And the mob is trying to demolish that. And it's like
Try to
I'm not
take it
gonna
away
let-
from him. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
and-
demolish it, because they
Uh-huh.
still want it to go on, but they're trying to
Yeah,
take it
but
away
take it
from
away.
him. Yeah.
But it's like Jimmy Hoffa is like, you really can't fuck with me. You don't fuck with Jimmy Hoffa. That's his perspective. But it's like, dude, you know who you're talking to?
And you can't fuck with what I have.
We're gonna kill Kennedy. We can kill Kennedy. We can fucking kill you, dude. You know.
And I think ultimately it's like you can't. Don't. It's simple. What he was telling Frank, he was like, the union. It's my union.
It's mine.
It's simple when you see it that way, you know.
Yeah.
So don't see it another way. You know what I mean? That's what he was trying to tell Frank. Like,
but that's the challenge that the mafia is given. It's like the mafia has their match in a sense. It's like, Jimmy Hoffa's the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're easily over.
We put him there. You know that
we put him there.
Yeah, they think that. You know. So I think it plays well with the whole like, you know, like what do you have? So. But then at that point,
go ahead.
Yeah. At that point though, principles still mattered. At that point in the movie, principles still mattered. But then,
that's also what I like about it too. Is like, and I don't want to say the phrase organized crime, but I loved how organized things are. It's professional. I work at a commercial real estate company, and there's a chain of command. You can't just go to the higher up. You have to go to that boss, to this boss, to that. You know, and I loved how the movie emphasized that. You know, there's a organization to this thing, to criminality. You know.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name again that Jimmy Hoffa was like fighting in jail, in prison? What's his name?
Tony Pro.
Yeah. Tony Pro.
Which is also played. He also played
Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. Yeah.
Which is directed by.
Well, yeah, he directed some episodes.
Now, I was completely unaware of that. I've never seen Boardwalk Empire. I just heard Michael Pitt died and everybody bitched about it. I'm like, well, really?
That's why I was like, when I was watching it, when I saw him, I was like, oh my god, this is all like a gangster actor's mesh.
I did not know that, and that's very cool. But that is my favorite scene of the movie. Not the prison scene, but when Jimmy Hoffa tries to get Tony Pro's endorsement, and when they're in Florida, you know, when he goes, "You're late." You know, the late scene. He shows up in a fucking shirt and shorts. To me, that is what I look at. Like, to me, that's a Scorsese moment, and the fact that that Pacino was in that moment and he carried the scene. Like, I that's my favorite moment in the movie. That's my favorite scene in the movie. The whole thing, like, well, I'll apologize when you apologize that you're late. You know,
that's a really good
scene. It's like
their
kids.
He has balls, you know.
Yeah,
it's like their kids, and also when you're older.
Don't you think so? See, that's the thing. Don't you think so? Don't you think that a lot of the things that we do, even as adults, if you look at it from just the right angle, we look like kids all the fucking time. Right?
We're children.
Even if it's about like, you know, marriage or about like companies or whatever. If you look at it from the point of view, just the right point of, just the right vantage point, you know, you see it as like we're all just like bickering kids about like things that don't really matter. Right?
I mean, I'll endorse you until you apologize for what you said. What the fuck did I say? You know what you said. You made a racial slur about you people. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's what you're pissed off about? You know, dude, fuck you. You're late, you know?
Yeah.
We're kids. We are children.
Things mattered to them at that point, all the way up until the third act, which is like when, you know, when Sheeran...
It's what got him killed. It's what got him killed, if you think about it.
Yeah, even afterwards, like when Sheeran was like watching, you know, his world fucking die, you know, not just people in it, but his actual world fucking, you know, wither away. That's when he started realizing, like, oh shit, you know, like, okay, none of that shit mattered. And I think going back to the casket thing, I think it wasn't him. For me, it wasn't him really like establishing, like, you know, what, I don't know, whatever he wants to establish. I think he just realized that his focus was not on what he should have been focusing on, which was like, what was it all for? And in the end, he was like, oh shit, now I'm running out of time. Now I gotta meet the fucking final countdown. But then,
you know what's interesting about that? This is a movie it's a voiceover movie. He's telling his own story, and the way that the movie does, I don't know how Frank Sheeran naturally told his story to make a book, but in the context of the movie itself, what I really admire about it is like it starts up that he's in an old folks home and he's just thinking to himself, and then he starts spouting off the mouth. He's senile, and this is a senile guy that we always would ignore. He's talking about
He's not
talking
senile.
about World War. No.
Oh,
he's
what do you mean?
not.
Okay.
But we would think that he is. He's he's just
yeah.
talking about
Just mouthing
Kennedy.
off,
He's talking about
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
Jimmy Hoffa. Who? He's talking. He's he's an old man.
Yeah.
But dude,
Yeah.
that's the movie is his confession
Yeah.
of of telling American history.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't just repeat myself from an hour ago, but
You kind of did, but it's okay. It's expected.
Okay.
but
I like that
that's good.
scene.
That's good.
I
That's
like
good.
that part when the wife got fired, and then he went.
That was really good. By the way,
And
by
then
the
What do you
way,
mean? Wait. What are you talking
Joe
about?
Hoffa, after all the
Got
bombings,
fired.
and then all of a sudden Joe Hoffa touches the ignition, the key to the ignition, and the music
Yeah.
abruptly
Going to
stops.
turn it.
And then she was gonna turn it.
Oh, that was
And
good
I love
direction.
that. I love that.
That
I
was
love
good.
that. By the way, we're talking about Robert De Niro. We're talking about Robert De Niro. We're talking about Joe Pesci. We're talking about what's his name? Harvey Keitel. Coming back to work
I
with.
loved Harvey Keitel. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're talking about. We've been talking about that. People coming back to work with Scorsese again.
We're watching Mean Streets, dude. Yeah.
Okay, but Joe Hoffa.
Uh-huh.
Who's the actress that played Joe Hoffa?
Don't know. Mike?
Oh,
No. I know
I've seen her
I know her. Do you? He doesn't
I've
have
seen
to.
her before, but
I don't know.
Lois, make sure that when you call from an outside line.
Stop!
Yeah.
Not! No, it's not!
Yes. Walker White.
I can't
She
go
was in
without my
Goodfellas.
hat.
She was the one.
can't
I
go
can't
without
go
my
without my
hat?
hat. I don't ever fly without my hat. She's that one.
All right, I'll give you another one too. I noticed. I should have looked up his name. Mike.
Mike.
The
What's
dude.
his name?
This was my girlfriend. The dude who. Okay. Remember the dude like you want to see helicopters? You think you see helicopters when Henry Hill and
Oh
Lorraine
shit!
Bracco?
Is that Whispers?
Yes.
Oh
That's
shit!
Whispers. That's Whispers.
Nice.
I was like,
knew
I
he
know
looked
that guy
familiar.
is.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I made sure
I haven't
of
looked
the
it up,
lowest
but I'm
thing.
pretty sure that's Whispers.
huh?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking sure.
Wow. But yeah, he did look
Almost.
familiar. He did
Yeah,
look
yeah,
familiar.
yeah. Because of the gap in the teeth, I noticed. I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
looks like.
I want to.
Want to see
I'm gonna watch
helicopters?
it again.
Want to see helicopters?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
did.
I want to
like,
watch it
I did-
again, definitely.
I did piecemeal some scenes having the Netflix accessibility. I just kind of like looked at here, looked at there, like why did the Italians want Kennedy so badly? This and that, and like I answered some questions I had, But let me. I have one last note.
Okay, we have like well I don't know. I think we should wrap it up though cuz we got
Well,
this.
okay.
If it's good.
Let's
Go
say
ahead.
Oscar. Let's say Oscar nominations, right?
Sure.
I think that The Irishman has the There Will Be Blood versus No Country for Old Men effect, which is No Country for Old Men in 2008 was the better film.
I disagree.
But the better film of the decade is There Will Be Blood. Now, The Irishman being nominated, it's bound to be nominated with things. I don't know if it should or will receive, if it should be honored with Best Picture. But I think that like The Irishman is going to go down as, Jesus, one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that too soon. But like, what film would really compete with it? This year.
Well, I haven't
know?
seen enough, and it's you're right. Well, I mean, so far, I think it's the best so far.
You think so?
I
Really?
think it's the best so far. Yeah. What do you
Better
think?
than the Joker.
I think
Better
what?
than
Better than the Joker?
For best picture.
Yes,
Picture, I
yes.
think. You know what? It
First
doesn't
of
even
all,
matter what I
Midsommar,
think. It
Midsommar.
doesn't even matter what I think because I can't really decide. I don't
Yeah.
like making things like compete with each other. But I think from the perspective of the Oscars, I think The Irishman is like the best picture so far.
Elite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from their perspective. I mean, it's not because the thing is like yeah, I know we were talking about contexts, but Joker is really context reliant. You know, it's very context dependent. Like if you don't know the Joker, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would and they didn't play Gary Glitter in The Irishman, right, Log? I mean, you know. It's,
No,
I'm
no.
never gonna hold that down. I get it.
You said
it's
you're
gonna be
gonna-
forever. It's gonna be forever until I pick my green casket. No, but I think
Yeah,
it
but
makes
definitely
sense.
I'm gonna watch it
Actually,
again. I wanna watch it again.
Logan makes sense in that area. If it's gonna come down to like okay, shit, the Irishman, Joker, Gary Glitter though.
Even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time, but that's what.
Yeah. So you said
Once Upon a Time.
So you said The Irishman is kind of like There Will Be Blood. Which one is No Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men won Best Picture. That
No.
year.
With your analogy, like you said.
So it could be anything else that came out.
Okay.
You know what I mean, it could be anything else. Like No Country for Old Men is a great film, but is The Irishman does say Joker? Is it better than The Irishman? No, but it might be the better film of the year. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite film personally of the year, but it doesn't mean it's the best film. Is that better than Irishman?
Yeah, true.
I don't know,
Here's the
might
thing.
be.
Here's the thing. If you're talking about like strengths and weaknesses and everything, I think Joker, the film Joker, is kind of a little bit diminished if you compare it to Irishman because it's very dependent, not only on context but on a single performance. You know what I mean? I think,
True.
but then you can
I know
also
what you
apply
mean.
it with the Irishman. But then you can kind of
True.
replace the cast of the Irishman. The sentiments would not be the same, but it would still be like, okay, that movie is still like a Oscar kind of thing. But if you put like in the Joker, it's more dependent upon like Joaquin Phoenix's performance.
What he's gonna do?
Performance.
Yeah.
What he's gonna do and how
Yeah.
he does things. Yeah, I think.
How I did it.
I
Yeah.
honestly, I think De Niro is more deserving of an Oscar over Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh shit. You know what?
I
I was
think
gonna say
so.
something, but I'm not gonna say it.
Well, I mean,
I don't wanna-
mean,
No, I
who
think
else?
they're both.
And I
They
mean, I'm
both
not-
deserve
I'm
a
not shitting on Joaquin
nomination. That's
Phoenix.
for sure.
That absolutely, and I'd be interested to
Yeah.
see who wins because I think it kind of comes down to those two. But
Yeah, it's just
I
silly.
mean,
It's
if Joaquin Phoenix doesn't get it for this, he'll get it for something else.
we don't know. But then,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just,
the
it's a
thing,
silly
you know.
thing. It's a silly thing with the Oscars.
Sometimes-
it's
Sometimes
I know
when
it's so silly. It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like if it's almost like what the fuck. Like what movie did Scorsese
Let me get my
won?
charger if you guys.
Scorsese finally won for The Departed, but he should have won for like Raging Bull.
Yeah,
He should have won for
Something.
Gangs of
So
New
it's-
York. He should have won for
That's
everything
how
else.
I'm gonna get my
it is,
charger.
you
Hold on.
know?
Huh?
Just keep going. I'm gonna get my
But
charger.
also we have to.
Oh yeah, let's wrap it up. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it up.
Okay. I
Well-
think I got through all my notes actually. to tell you the truth.
Good. Well, yeah.
Pacino is at his best with Scorsese's material. The year
Yeah.
late scene. Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah. Cool. No.
I
It's,
really
it's,
enjoyed. I really enjoyed Al
Yeah.
Pacino.
Oh
this
yeah,
time.
I think so.
Talked about that.
Definitely.
I think it's very very.
I think
good.
definitely.
I just love that he worked with Scorsese finally, and like
Yeah.
it was a film like this, you know.
Yeah.
You know what?
It was great.
Now I'm thinking about it.
God,
I think-
the performance is really like Joe Pesci. I mean, Joe Pesci and the Pacino scene, like,
yeah.
I think the performances really take flight, and it was so cool to see. We didn't even talk about the de-aging bullshit. Like, I never questioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought the performances were like everybody was in on it and passionate about it, and it was so.
Well, you know what?
It was like the greatest piece of work of art, you know.
I think for me it's like Al Pacino's character. You know, he's big. He's a big
Okay.
character.
If we're
right?
gonna
Stuff
keep
like
going,
that.
I have to get my charger.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think he's a big character. But I think that he's actually well written. Like his character was written well, not just to be big and
Flamboyant.
loud and stuff and flamboyant, but
And
actually
I do think
the
that
dialogue
Pacino.
with him is actually good.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
that
that's what I think.
your late scene
I
was so
know,
perfect. I thought
I
he
know, and
held his
everybody
ground,
can
and all he
relate.
was doing is sitting in a chair. You know.
Yeah, but it's not like a weird thing because everybody laughed because they can relate when they're arguing about it. You know what I mean? It's not something
Yeah.
like why, the kind of thing. Why you? Everybody knows how that is. Like one point in their life they actually made that kind of argument or something.
Oh, sure.
So,
And it's vehemence of their whole history of those two characters. Like, I don't like him. I never liked him. We fought in
yeah.
prison.
So
Now I need his help now.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
still hate him. I'm still gonna stand my ground.
yeah,
Uh, that's why I said that scene is like the perfect Scorsese scene, and Pacino. It was so lovely to see Pacino finally in there. Like, oh yes, yes. It was so he was great. I thought he was great.
yeah, yeah.
Best supporting actor, Pesci.
I have to go.
Pesci. Huh? Are
I
we
have to
wrapping
go
this up?
pee.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta, yeah. Uh, me too. Um, but
I have to turn off my third camera. It'll be quick anyway, because I don't wanna. Yeah, if this phone dies, it's gonna be
No, but we're gonna wrap it up.
hold on. Let me just charge this shit. Because if my phone dies, it's gonna be a big ass problem. Keep talking, guys.
I'll say this. One final concluding statement about The Irishman from all three of us, I think, would be perfect for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's flawless. I have no criticisms toward it because I know what it took to make, and I think that I'm really charmed by Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
I think it's an American tale. I think it's about time we see this, and I'm really happy that it's made. I'm just happy for Scorsese, basically. I think that's my bottom line.
Yeah. I think for
Sunshine?
me it's like yeah, I think for me it's like I still see it like almost like a conclusion. I don't want to say conclusion because it's not the end of Scorsese's films or something, but
Right.
it's like growing up and then growing up seeing all these other gangster movies and it's told differently and stuff like that. So it's almost like okay, what happens at the end of all these movies? It's like this movie, kind of thing. So what happens when they got old? What happens when they got this and that? How did they die? You wonder almost like like all these other characters that he has written or something. And this could be it. This could be the thing, the ending of a lot of them probably and stuff of the characters. Because usually, if you live that life, you kind of end up. It's not impossible to end up like this. So it's like. For me, it's more sentimental
I'm going to church
than anything.
I'm going to church.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. You'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's more sentimental. Really, it's like it really wraps up like the whole like career, like the career that Scorsese had made for himself with this kind of stories.
Yeah.
So and it's a bittersweet kind of thing. It's like it's a truth. It's truthful for me. It's realistic and. Yeah, I'm happy on how, but that's how I see it. It's like a whole like repertoire of things, the kind of thing. So
repertoire.
It's
How about you, Mark?
Yeah, so
and I
for
think
me, definitely.
Yeah,
closing statements on Irishman.
I think it's you guys are both right, and especially Scorsese might make another movie, but I don't think he's gonna make another movie as personal as this and bringing back his friends.
Personal is a very key word here.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and, definitely.
And he did say that he worked with Al Pacino just now because back then Al Pacino rose up in his career. What do you call this? And Scorsese was still making movies with his quote unquote friends. when Al Pacino was already
No,
working.
my friend De Niro.
Yeah. But then that's what he.
Keitel,
That's what he said. So I think for this, so in that same context, I think he considers The Irishman to be working with his friends once again. And I think Logan, you're right as
I
well.
like that.
Yeah, and I think Logan, you're right as well with the with the performances. I mean, Joe Pesci. I mean, we've always loved Scorsese. We've always loved Joe Pesci. We've always loved you. I don't know. I'm sure you
But
remember
all of them together.
all of them together. Exactly. Scorsese.
I know when I see, I got a
Yeah.
reaction when the scene when Joe Pesci and Al Pacino were talking. Oh God!
Yeah.
Together.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that before. I was so kind of
Yeah.
like, holy fuck! I'm like,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
And
like
I
this
know.
has never happened.
actually, I was more
Yeah.
I was more stoked for me, I was more stoked with Harvey Keitel and Joe Pesci because they
I did like that too.
Harvey Keitel
When you
worked
see
with
Joe Pesci just do this,
yeah. And Harvey,
just the
exactly.
outside.
And Harvey Keitel worked with Scorsese like 4 times before this. Who's that not?
right. He was the
Mean
pimp
Streets,
and taxi driver.
Last Temptation of Christ, and Joe Pesci worked with Scorsese.
Fuck, he
3
wasn't that. Yeah, that's right.
And Joe Pesci worked with Scorsese like 3 times with Raging Bull and Goodfellas and Casino, but then they never worked together. Not even outside
didn't
of
think
Scorsese.
about that. I
Not
didn't
even
think
outside of a
about that.
Scorsese movie. Yeah, so I was very 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 touched by that. And it reminds me.
Yes, touching. It was
Touched, yeah,
touching.
yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
touching.
And it does remind me a
Cool.
lot of all the sentimentality of this. It does remind me of like what Sunshine is saying, the context of like the career and everything. Because I don't know if you remember Logan when Victor was like, "Hey, you guys want to watch Casino?" And then our reaction was like,
We jumped like bitches.
"Yeah,
Man.
yeah, exactly." We were like, "Yeah, we were teenagers. We were teenagers back then."
We were. Oh my god! Like,
So,
like in unison. Like
Yeah,
Oh, that
exactly.
Was funny.
Can you just I'm just imagining because the timetable or the timeline of the Irishman is like jumbled and everything. Can you just imagine telling our younger selves like, hey, in 2019, we're
gonna be talking about
yeah,
this
we're gonna
movie
be
and
talking
guess
about
who's
this
in it?
movie. Yeah, and guess who's in it? Exactly.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We would have been blown away.
we would have been blown
Yeah,
away by
definitely, yeah.
and we would have been blown away by the movie. And I think it's kind of not to be all like like dramatic about this, but I think it's also like a good thing that we would be telling our younger selves that we would still be talking about it. You and I, Log. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're not blood, but then we would still be talking about. We'd still be bickering about like some shit, about like the 20 minutes apiece and all that shit. But you know what? I think it's a part of it. I think it's a part of what life is and what death is and what the path towards death. So my wrap up message is this. I think it's this. So I think the movie is about. I think the movie, if you sum it up in one scene, it could be about us digging our own graves and like, what the fuck? What does it matter if you dig well or if you don't dig well? What does it matter? But then again,
It matters because they're digging together.
well,
We can go that route, but you could.
But then
But
again-
what were you saying? What were you saying?
but then again, it doesn't have to be seen as us digging our own graves until we lie in it. It doesn't have to be seen as that. It could be seen as just us trying our hardest, even through the most difficult situations or the most difficult hurdles. We are still trying our hardest to just sit down and enjoy our fucking ice cream.
Oh.
Just that.
That's really nice
After
of you
the
to
mo-
say.
After
Yeah.
the movie,
Don't be
actually-
fucking late, Toe. You're fucking. You better apologize for being late. Actually, I was the late one on the
Actually,
podcast.
the next day I asked for we went for breakfast and asked them, do you have ice cream sundae? It has to be ice cream with the syrup with the
Yeah.
whipped cream.
Yeah.
Then they're like, yeah, we don't have it, but we can make one for you. Okay. And then Eric was like looking at me like, why have you been asking for this ice cream? You just don't get it. You didn't.
Eric,
tell me.
you don't understand.
I have to have that ice cream sundae. I was like, I have else enjoy it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Okay.
mean, I Pacinoed myself out like since I've seen it. Like I'm picking up my friend from the airport. I'm just like, why are you fucking late? He wasn't late, but I just told him, I was like, what the fuck are you late for? I
Yeah.
love that. You know,
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
favorite. So that's
But
a very
anyway,
Okay.
nice. That's a very nice
yeah.
sentiment
But
that you said.
anyway,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. Once again, happy Thanksgiving, and thank you so
All
much
right.
for
Happy
It
Thanksgiving.
doesn't matter
Happy
what how things
Thanksgiving.
worked out or how things whatever. We shared this moment. And we talked about The Irishman, which is a great film,
Yeah.
and kudos to
Hi,
hello Moana.
Moana.
So
Yeah.
kudos to Martin Scorsese and all of the people that worked on The Irishman, and thank you guys so much. And
Flawless. No
no
criticisms. Flawless.
criticisms. Thank you so much for being here, and hope to be with you guys again for another episode for something else. But we'll see. We'll talk about it. All right?
Okay.
Paul Thomas
Okay.
Anderson next. Paul
Maybe.
Thomas
We'll
Anderson
see. We'll
next.
see.
We'll see. All right.
Okay. All
All
right.
right,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Bye.
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 All
Bye.
right. Okay.